Grandma, help me.
I was stunned by the sight of my 7-year-old granddaughter seeking help while visiting my son's house. She was chained up inside the room. My grandchild's body, which I hugged in a hurry, was skinny. "Where are your parents?"
They locked me up and went on a trip.
Not only that, but she hadn't eaten or drunk anything for 3 days. I gave her tea from my bag and put caramel in her mouth, then called an ambulance in a hurry. My granddaughter closed her eyes in relief in my arms. I can't forgive them for doing such a horrible thing. I decided to send my son and daughter-in-law to hell in place of my helpless granddaughter. I'm Nancy, 62 years old. I work part-time at a 24-hour supermarket about 4 days a week. I live alone because my husband passed away 5 years ago. I'm not struggling to make ends meet because my husband left me some assets, but I wanted to work while I'm still healthy. My son Michael got married 8 years ago and lives in a house about 30 minutes away. My daughter Olivia got married 6 years ago and moved to the neighboring state, but I felt relieved because we could meet if we wanted to. Some people say that living alone is lonely, but it's free and easy. However, there was one thing that worried me. It was about my son's family. My son's wife, Sophia, is 10 years younger than my son. I was worried because she was only 18 when they got married. She met my son while working part-time at the convenience store where he worked as a manager. I was surprised when she came to greet me for the first time.
"Oh, you're Michael's mom? You're pretty young. I'm Sophia. Nice to meet you."
Huh? Pretty young? Oh. Nice to meet you. I'm Nancy.
You seem like a nice person. By the way, can I have some pocket money? Can you ask to give me some, Michael?
I felt uneasy seeing Sophia's flashy makeup and childish behavior. Not only that, but she couldn't speak politely and even begged for money. I couldn't stand watching my son fawn over his young girlfriend either.
Hey! Mom, isn't Sophia cute? Treat her like your real daughter and give her some pocket money.
I wanted to hit my son's head for his ridiculous comment, but I held back because Sophia was there. I'm sorry. I don't have any cash on me right now.
You're stingy.
Sophia clicked her tongue and pouted like a child. To be honest, I wanted to oppose their marriage because of this situation, but I had to accept it because Sophia was already pregnant with Michael's child. I thought that even though Sophia was young, she would become a little more responsible once she became a mother, but my expectations were dashed. After getting married, my daughter-in-law started giving me various reasons such as severe morning sickness and feeling heavy to ask me to do things for her.
Hey, Nancy. I'm feeling nauseous, so can you go shopping and make dinner? I want steak.
You're feeling nauseous, but you want to eat meat?
Huh? Oh, it's for Michael. I'll only eat a little. Oh, and if you could buy some ice cream, that would be great.
I don't know what she thinks of me. I wanted to complain, but I didn't have any words to say to her ridiculous requests. In addition, Sophia asked me for some money because my son's income was low and they couldn't live a satisfactory life. I gave her about $350 every month. When I consulted with Michael, he said this.
Yeah, that's right. The store's business has been bad lately, so my salary has decreased. I appreciate your monthly support. Thanks, Mom. In return, we'll take care of you in your old age.
I didn't care about the old age talk, but it was true that my son and daughter-in-law were struggling financially, just as Sophia had said. It must be difficult for Sophia to work with her pregnant body. Although the $350 was my part-time job salary, I had no choice. We're family, so we have to help each other when we're in trouble, right? Sophia's parents lived far away, and she was still young. I thought that way and accepted her requests. However, my feelings didn't get through to them. I had no idea that my son and daughter-in-law would cause such an incident at that time. After my exchange with my selfish daughter-in-law, I became more and more frustrated. However, Sophia's pregnancy went smoothly, and she gave birth to a cute baby girl. Her name was Mia. Sophia, you did a great job. She's such a cute little girl, I said to Sophia, who had just given birth. But I was surprised by her unexpected response.
Huh? She's not cute at all. She doesn't look like me. Her eyes are small, she's ugly, and she looks just like you, Nancy.
I couldn't believe my ears. How could she say such a thing about her own child? Her face is a little swollen right now because she was just born, but the swelling will go down soon. She has beautiful features and looks like you, Sophia.
Hey. Old lady. Are you saying that this ugly baby looks like me?
I was shocked when my daughter-in-law suddenly got angry. Then, my son started to agree with her.
Yeah, she does look like Mom. I wish she looked more like beautiful Sophia.
I was furious with their comments, but I could only hope that Sophia's emotions were unstable because she had just given birth and that she would eventually come to appreciate the baby's cuteness. Sophia continued to ask me to do things for her, perhaps because Mia was a handful. Meanwhile, my granddaughter grew up pure and healthy and began speaking at the age of 2.
Grandma, I love you.
I remember being so happy that I cried when she said that. Grandma loves Mia too. You're a precious little treasure. Mia was pure and obedient, so she seemed like an easy child to raise from my perspective. However, Sophia scolded the young Mia everything, giving in to her own emotions.
Ugh, be quiet. Stop crying. Can't you hear the TV?
Sophia, maybe Mia is crying because she wants to be comforted by her mom. Why don't you play with her?
She's my child, so don't tell me what to do. You old hag.
Sophia raised her voice and spat on me while turning up the volume on the TV. I was concerned about her lack of proper parenting, so I took care of my granddaughter at my son's house on my days off and after work. However, Sophia began to look at me with a nasty expression, and it became more and more obvious. When Mia turned 4 and became less of a handful, Sophia began to avoid me. One day, I visited my son's house with some delicious sweets as a souvenir and tried to feed them to Mia. However, no one answered the intercom, so I pressed the button several times. Suddenly, the door opened, and Sophia came out with a bright red face, furious.
You're so annoying. Can't you tell that you're being avoided?
Ha! Do you hate me coming here?
It's because of you that Mia is closer to you than me. You're a nuisance.
To my surprise, Michael was behind Sophia. He had also been avoiding me.
Mom, stop bullying Sophia. Don't you feel sorry for her? Don't come here anymore.
But what about Mia?
We're here for her, so you don't need to worry.
I was worried about my granddaughter, but I couldn't argue with her parents. I had no choice but to give up visiting my son's house. Michael, despite refusing my visits, made a brazen request.
Hey, I'm short on living expenses. Can you keep sending me money every month?
I thought that he wanted to use the money to buy delicious food and beautiful clothes for Mia. I thought it would be used for Mia's sake, even though I couldn't be with her, so I continued to send money. However, looking back now, I should have kept visiting my son's house no matter how much he disliked it. If I had done that, things wouldn't have turned out like this. When Mia turned 7, a terrible incident occurred. I sometimes had to go to work before 5 a.m., and when I passed by my son's house, the lights were on for 3 consecutive days, even though it was usually an unoccupied time. I became suspicious and visited my son's house the next day. When I opened the front door, an abnormal scene unfolded before me.
Grandma, help me.
Mia cried in tears. She was chained to a pillar in the living room. There was no heating in the room, and she was shivering from the cold. When I hugged her in a hurry, my granddaughter's body was skinny. She had lost a lot of weight since I last saw her. Her face was pale, and she had no color in her cheeks. "Where are your parents?"
They locked me up and went on a trip.
My granddaughter replied. Not only that, but she hadn't eaten or drunk anything for 3 days. I searched my bag in a hurry and gave her a bottle of tea to drink and put caramel in her mouth. Then I called an ambulance in a hurry. Mia closed her eyes in relief in my arms. I can't forgive them for doing such a horrible thing. I accompanied her to the hospital, but I couldn't get in touch with my son and daughter-in-law on my phone. My granddaughter's life was saved, but her nutritional status was quite poor, so she had to be hospitalized. I was worried, and then an even more terrible situation arose. After the hospital reported the incident to the police, I was questioned by a detective who accused me in a strong tone.
Did you cause your granddaughter to suffer like this?
I explained desperately. No, I lived separately and happened to find her. I was finally released 2 hours later. After that, I contacted my daughter Olivia, and she and her husband rushed over from the neighboring state by car. I entrusted my granddaughter, whose condition had stabilized, to my daughter and son-in-law and returned to my son's house by taxi. When I investigated, I found a travel schedule on my son's desk, and I learned that he would return home the next night. When I asked the neighbors around my son's house, I discovered some surprising facts. I went back to the hospital again, discussed with my daughter and her husband about future measures, and made a bold decision. The next evening, when my son and daughter-in-law returned home, I left the hospital where my granddaughter was being treated and visited my son's house. When my daughter-in-law opened the door, she frowned and crossed her arms.
What are you doing here? I'm busy, so go home,
she said rudely. Although I was almost broken by her impolite words, I couldn't back down now. I came to see Mia. Please let me see her. Sophia clicked her tongue.
Ugh.
She lied that Mia was with a friend. That's strange. Mia was supposed to be chained up here. You didn't even look for her when she disappeared? I showed them a photo of Mia when I found her. My son and daughter-in-law looked at each other with a darn it expression. Why did you treat your lovely daughter like this? Are you still parents? Mia was shivering from the cold and hadn't eaten anything. However, My son and daughter-in-law raised their voices and became defiant.
It's Mia's fault. We're raising her with love, but she's rebellious.
If we don't chain her up, she'll destroy everything in the house. We have no choice.
Sophia lied to make Mia the bad guy. They showed no signs of remorse. You two went out and played together until late at night and left Mia alone. How can you say that?
Sometimes I have to work late. Don't say weird things.
I know everything. You two are becoming famous in the neighborhood.
Huh?
I went around asking the neighbors to find out about my son and daughter-in-law's situation. Since I visited frequently when Mia was young, I knew many people in the neighborhood. Everyone was worried about my granddaughter and told me what they knew. Mia was once alone in a nearby park until late at night, and it seems that the house was locked. In the middle of a freezing winter, a neighbor who couldn't bear to see her in tattered clothes let her into their house and took care of her. Every night, my son and daughter-in-law returned home late, and they were seen playing at casinos and bars. Everyone in the neighborhood is saying that we have to do something about Mia's situation.
But if we give her the key, she'll destroy everything in the house.
That's not true, is it? You locked her up because you didn't want her to eat anything when she was hungry, right? Poor Mia's body is so skinny because she's not getting enough nutrition. I actually heard from Mia herself at the hospital. One day, she was waiting for her parents to come home late and became so hungry that she couldn't stand it, so she ate a cake from the refrigerator. However, it turned out to be Sophia's, and my daughter-in-law was furious. After that, they didn't give Mia the key and left her outside. When Sophia heard my story, she glared at me.
I can't think of Mia as cute because she looks like an old hag like you. If Mia is so important to you, I'll give her to you.
I was speechless at her ridiculous statement. Mia has been diagnosed with poor nutrition and is hospitalized. My support money wasn't for Mia, but for your own entertainment.
Children's money belongs to their parents. We can use it however we want. Don't be stingy.
Leaving a child unattended without raising them properly is a crime. Besides, the police have already been notified. My son and daughter-in-law's faces changed color for a moment when they heard the word police, but they immediately retorted.
It's not a crime. If we say that Mia is picky, no one will know that we're not feeding her even though she's skinny. Besides, the neighbors' stories are just rumors and aren't evidence.
They smirked triumphantly and said, "You don't even know that?" I recorded your statements just now. In addition, there is a person who testified more clearly than the photo of Mia chained up and the hospital diagnosis.
Who?
It was actually my granddaughter Mia who testified. I was almost arrested because I was suspected, but thanks to Mia, the misunderstanding was cleared up.
It wasn't Grandma who caused me to suffer like this. It was Mom and Dad.
It became clear that my son and daughter-in-law were at fault. My son and daughter-in-law lost their escape route and began to panic.
Wait a minute. Hey, can you tell the police that it was you who chained her up? That way, we'll be saved.
That's right. You're Michael's parent, aren't you? Parents are supposed to protect their children. Help us.
I was disgusted by their selfishness. I don't want to hear that from you. Who treated your own child so badly? I'll stop being Michael's parent from today.
What? Mom, won't you help me? Is it okay to do that and not see Mia?
I won't give Mia to you.
What?
I told Michael that I was cutting ties with him and that he had to leave the house where he and his wife lived. Actually, the house they lived in was my family's home, and I had lent it to them under my name.
I don't have any money, so I can't be kicked out. Please help me.
Michael was clinging to me and begging for forgiveness, but I coldly told him, "You're apologizing to the wrong person. Besides, Mia said she doesn't want to see you anymore. It's sad when a child gives up on their parents." I held back my tears, thinking of my granddaughter's feelings. I won't cry in front of these people. The police arrived at that moment. I had already informed the police of the time when my son and daughter-in-law would return home. They were taken away while crying and screaming, and I watched them coldly. After the police investigation, they were found guilty of high malice. The rumors spread throughout the neighborhood and were widely reported on TV. My son's name and face were exposed to the public, and he lost his job and his life fell apart. Now he lives on the streets. Sophia disappeared, but I heard rumors that she was working for daily wages in the city at night. Mia was taken in by me, and my son and daughter-in-law were sued for $100,000 in compensation and child support for Mia. I sold the house I had lent to my son and my own house, and bought a condominium near my daughter's house and moved in with my granddaughter. My childless daughter and her husband love Mia. I hope these peaceful and happy days will continue forever.
How was this story? Please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.